Rufus, perhaps you just tell us what you were just telling, tell the listeners what you were just telling us during that tune.
I was attempting to impress Sammy and Jude with what I was doing last night at about 10 o'clock, which was by the light of a full silvery moon, standing at the top of a field overlooking a Cumbrian mountainscape and feeding 2 alpaca foals, calves, both about 4 or 5 months old at the same time. Both quite big. They stand about as high as, kind of Shetland ponies, with an Evian bottle with a kind of a rubber teat on the end with warmed milk inside, as they suck voraciously.
Another of your impressions. It's good to be able to add that one to the repertoire. We've got which ones I always forget which ones you do. You obviously do
Nelson Mandela,
brilliant.
Baby crying.
Baby crying. The sound of a baby crying.
Yeah.
And now you can add to that the sound of a foal, calf, we're not sure. Alpaca sucking on a bottle.
And in that impression was the sound of the light of the moon. And
exactly, you managed to combine it all.
Yeah.
It's a very, very poetic image, and I look forward to more alpaca-based stories as the show goes on.
There'll be a few more.
I look forward to that. Sammy, have you fed any animals of late?
I haven't, but I have just found your knob, Rufus. It was on the floor, and now you will get volume in both ears equally.
Oh, thank you, Sammy. That's a relief.
Good. A little insight there into the workings of the show. We'll have some pogues, and then we'll come back. We'll talk. Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. The Pogues, a pair of brown eyes from the second album, Rum, Sodomy and the Lush. And one of the great benefits of YouTube, of course, now is that you can have fun if you've got some idle hours, as I often do. One game I sometimes play is to try and find archive footage of Shane McGann when you can actually understand what he's saying. It's really interesting. It's great because you go back to some early interviews and you can sort of course his slow descent into inaudibility. It's a fun little game, as I say, if you've not got anything else to do with your life. Maybe our listeners, it's an hour before the DSS opens, they're going to sign on, and they can just do that if they, before they go and do some cash in hand work. Don't declare it to the taxman. So we were talking to Sammy earlier. She's been running around at the north end of the country looking for pizzas. But of course, what I'm intrigued to know is, have you been back to photography class?
I have, yes. It was interesting this
We should just point out for people who've not heard last week, you were deeply... Is offensive?
I think possibly offensive.
Perhaps a little offensive, because it's quite a sort of motley band.
It's certainly an interesting collection of folk.
Yeah, we got a tramp, or hobo.
I don't know what the politically correct term is.
A homeless person.
Oh, well, he's not homeless.
Oh, he's not homeless?
That's the thing, he's not homeless because you have to have a fixed abode to get on a course.
I see, so how could you be a tramp then?
I think he's either an eccentric or just a dirty person.
Okay, alright, well let's call him scummy. Just a scummy bloke.
Scummy.
Yeah.
I was trying to have a bit of conversation with him this week. Still don't know his name, he won't give me that information.
Sure.
I gave him some of my food colouring that we were using in the photography class, and then he coughed into his hand and ate the residue.
Oh! Wow!
So I relinquished all lines of communication and friendship from then on because I felt a little nauseous.
You felt that you'd extended the hand of friendship, and
I tried, I really did.
He'd spat into it, and
yeah.
You were using food colouring in.
We were taking pictures of water droplets, which sounds really dull, but I got very excited in my kitchen on Friday and ended up bleaching all the work surfaces because I went mental with food colouring.
Sure. So we've got Hobo Joe. He's there in the class. We've also got a man with no arms or legs. Is that right?
No, he's not just a cushion. He has got arms and legs. They just don't work.
Oh, I see. And he has an assistant who holds the camera for him
and does the course. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yes, but he's great. He's quite good fun. Because he's a nice bloke, not because I poke fun at him.
Sure. Yeah.
The definite hilarious moment this week was the very nervous man.
Of course, I forgot about very nervous man.
Don't give me that, I'll only break it.
Yes. Well,
I love that he's already got a catchphrase as well. Very nervous man, don't give me that, I'll only break it. That'll be a t-shirt that'll sweep the nation.
Well, carrying huge vessels of water, some of them ceramic, and the teacher asked him to take back the biggest ceramic vessel, and he shrieked. He went, "Oh, you can't give me that.
I'll only break it.
And quite campus, "Oh, you can't give me that. I'll only break it."
I look forward to finding out each week what thing has provoked him into saying that particular catchphrase. I'd like to find a different. Maybe we should arm you with something each week that will hopefully provoke.
A situation.
Yeah, to put him into a
Dresden shepherdess, a small French carriage clock.
Yeah.
I brought this into photograph this week.
Yeah, this Fabergé egg. Oh, this is going to run and run, this one. Well, I look forward to, and it's got BBC 4 sitcom written all over it as well, hasn't it? It's got a classic, but a little bit edgy. I love it. All right, we have to come back to we have to go to the news, but after that we'll come back. We've got tunes from the Pigeonhole, we've got more choices from Vic and the gang here. All right, see ya. It's the Steve Show, BBC Six Music with me, Stephen Merchant, and that's from a new EP featuring kind of assorted remixes of the Decemberists, and that's their track, The Perfect Crime, number 2. So it's a Steve Show, as I say, and before we get to Pigeonhole tracks, we will have a choice from our friend Rufus, super posh. And before I mention that, we've had a number of texts and emails and so on talking about how they have discovered an ancient piece of archive footage of my good self, S.J. Merchant, when I appeared on Blockbusters. Now, let's clear something up. Firstly, I was not on the classic Blockbusters with Bob Holness. I was on a revived version for BBC Two, hosted by Michael Aspel. A lot of people were saying, Steve, surely you were a sixth former, you took on a novelty toy. No, I did not. I was, I think, post-university, embarrassingly, so I was actually in my adult life. So then, the next obvious question is, why did you bother, Steve? Let me explain. My friend, who I'd grown up with, had been on there in classic Borched old time. I mean, I don't want to sort of cast aspersions on some of those old Blockbusters contestants, but apparently it was quite decadent. You know, a lot of sixth formers, you know, in a hotel room for, you know, sometimes up to a week. Oh, apparently there was some hijinks, there was some naughtiness, you know. I finished university, I'm between jobs, I'm thinking, why not? I'll spend a week or so in a hotel, you know, hopefully there'll be some similar filth going on. So I trundle up to Manchester. Oh no! What's happened here? They've opened the doors not to, hot young people, elderly women, middle-aged bikers, all sorts of people. There was not a pretty face to be seen. There was not anyone, I think, under the age of 40 except me. I'd originally intended to go on with my friend, who was quite the brain box, but his sister had driven us to the audition, and they thought that would be a more interesting selling point, the sister and brother double act. So I, of course, stuck on my own. Now, anyone who's watched Blockbusters surely remembers that the 2 versus 1 idea was never fair. It was never, ever fair. Despite the fact that you supposedly only had to make yourself, you had to get maybe 4 questions right to their 5 or something. Never thought it was fair. I was terrified of this problem. I was confronted with it. I had no option. You know, I didn't want to back out now. So I went up to Manchester, where it's being recorded. Stayed in a hotel. And, it was agonising. Because everyone was in bed by about 6:30 in the evening. I was sat there in the bar on my own, nothing going on. It's dead. All the promises I'd had of, wild times, nothing to be found. My friend and his sister, they went on early in the week, and they did quite well, got onto a gold run or something. They went off. I was stuck there on my own in Manchester, and actually, I'll be honest with you, quite nervous, because I thought I was quite a smart aleck, but then I was beginning to think, actually, maybe I'm not quite the brainiac that I thought I was. So, we trundle along. Eventually I get down there after ages waiting, and we get down there, and I'm there versus these 2 women. Now, I can't remember, people who've seen this clip, apparently now it's made it onto YouTube. I don't know who's got this, I don't know how it's found its way onto the web, but anyway, I certainly did put it on there. And if only I'd had the forethought, because now I've said this, obviously a lot of people are going to go on the web and start passing it around. If only I'd had the forethought all those years ago to say something at the end, like when he said, "Hey, who are you?" I'd have said, "Hi, Steve Merchant. I'm hoping one day that my box set of The Office will be available on DVD." If only I'd had that forethought, it could have been a fantastic viral advertising campaign. Sadly, there is nothing. Although apparently I think I do say I'd quite like to be a comedy writer, so, nice to see my dreams came true. But I'm fairly certain that one of the first questions was something like, which Y sang with the plastic population? Yes, I was straight in. I had no fanning around. I was straight in there. I thought, I am off to a flying start. I'm going to wipe the floor with these 2 women. I got the next 2 questions right, as I recall. I thought, this is unbelievable. I am extraordinary. All those years of playing Trivial Pursuit at Christmas had obviously paid off. Then the tables turned. They'd obviously got a certain confidence that they'd had from just from being there, relaxing, the lights had come on and everything. They were a bit nervous to begin with. They started to find their feet. They were getting, they were buzzing so fast. I think there's a confidence when there's 2 people that maybe one person doesn't have. They think, I don't know, I'm just doing the buzzer noise now. But anyway, I'm trying to give you a flavour of the excitement of the whole event. And so they're buzzing in, they're getting those questions. And of course, I'm thinking I know the answers, but I'm just not getting fast enough to the buzzer. It was so embarrassing. So we're trundling away. I'm thinking, okay, you may as well just put me out of my misery now. Because it's clear these girls are going to wipe the floor with me. I'm thinking, just put me out of my misery. But just before we get to the final question, that's just going to be the final nail in my coffin, Aspel, he goes, "Well, we've not got any more time on the show. Steve, can you come back tomorrow?" I thought, come on, Michael, you're having a laugh. Just kill me now. I said, yes, of course, Michael, yes. So, lights come on, that was it. The end of that, I had to go trundling all the way back to the hotel. Another night, all I could do, there was nothing to do, as I didn't know anyone in Manchester. All I could do was just take baths baths in the giant hotel bath. That was all I seemed to do, just take endless baths, worrying about my my pitiful performance on Blockbusters. Go down there the next day, sit in the seat. The guy, Aspel, says, okay, well, if Steve doesn't get this next question right, he's out. Let's play Blockbusters. Steve, you've not got that question right. You're out. Thanks for playing Blockbusters. It was so pathetic. I was rubbish. I was embarrassing. He then, for some reason, got me up on the hotspot and compared heights. He went back to back, Steve. So it was me and Aspel, back to back on one of the gold spots or whatever it's called. Oh, the whole thing was a tortuous and humiliating experience, made worse by the fact that when the cheque arrived for the £15 that I'd won, there was a kind of piece, a jagged piece missing from one corner, as though, as the person who was writing the cheques had written it, they were so contemptuous of my pitiful display that they'd just torn the cheque out without even bothering to kind of carefully get it out. So there was half the cheque was left behind. Oh, sod it. Some stupid oik from Bristol. And despite the fact that I did write quite a droll article for a local magazine, I thought it was something that would just lie there in the BBC Two archives, never come back to haunt me. Now it's back, it's here, everyone can see the humiliation, everyone can see my different glasses. I had a different pair of glasses, so what? Sue me. Everyone can see the youthful Steve, everyone can see that I'm enthusiastic, and then that the life is crushed out of me by two women who I don't know who those women are, I don't know where they are now, I hope they've gone on to great things. I'm hoping I've had the last laugh. Who knows?
I'm just wondering how long it's going to take for someone to just listen again to this show and then just edit what you've said onto a kind of director's commentary of the YouTube clip.
Of course.
It's going to be, that was, well, I did it for a laugh, and there's just going to be you silently mouthing in the background.
Yeah, that's another fantastic idea. Thanks for suggesting that.
That's all right. Can you remember what the question was that you got wrong at the very end?
I can't. Maybe I'll have to watch the clip and get that information.
I'm surprised it doesn't kind of just go around you. Catherine of Aragon, course.
Yeah. Now, all I remember was what good fortune to have What Why sang with a plastic population. You know? At the time, I was a mobile DJ. Please, it was a mainstay of any wedding or birthday celebration.
Hot in on the text front. One of the people who was playing against you posted it up. She looks like David Williams, Jasmine.
Oh, one of the people who's playing against me posted it. Really interesting. Okay. Obviously, I mean, I've not looked at it. I don't go back to the clip. Never go back. Never revisit the past. So I've not looked at it. I don't know just how humiliating the defeat is. I remember it was bad. I remember it was painful. It certainly made me wary of being involved with quizzes. Now I will sometimes not even play Trivial Pursuit in a party situation. I'll often be quiz master rather than the quizzee. But if you've not seen it, then obviously feel free to check it out. And it's pretty painful. That's all I'm gonna say. It's pretty painful. There is another thing I did on TV many years ago, which is yet to be discovered. I look forward to that getting found out. Oh, look at that! Sammy's perked up. She's wondering what that might be. Who knows? Rufus, it's your choice. Sorry to sidetrack you there, but I just thought I had to get that off my chest.
That's all right. This is my track of the week. One of your compilation discs for me with Once Around the Block. This is their single, which is out. Oh, I had the date and I've lost it. I think it was the 23rd of August it was out. It's out already. It's called I'd Rather Dance With You.
I'd Rather Dance With You from the Kings of Convenience. If you're looking forward to that coming out shortly, then no need to worry. It came out in 2004. That's we're bang up to the minute with all the latest hot releases. Thank you very much, Steve Rufus. No, it's a great tune, and as Jude has been pointing out, new music on this show means music you've not heard before, and the fact that everyone else has heard it before it should have no impact whatsoever on your enjoyment of that particular track. So yes, we've enjoyed that. And I hope my story of Blockbuster's defeat wasn't too melancholy for you. I just remember it as being a moment of great sourness in my life. Aspel, I was trying to get, because the truth is also I was trying to write an article for this local magazine in Bristol, and so I was hoping to get an interview with Michael Aspel. And I kept asking the producers, can I get an interview with Michael Aspel for this article? And they went, yeah, I'm sure we'll sort that out. And then at one point I had to bring various shirts in, I remember, because you have to hold up your shirts in front of the camera before you go on to see if it's going to strobe or make any strange pattern on the camera. So I was holding up these shirts, and I was quite annoyed, I think, probably for some reason. I'd been hanging around for ages, and someone came up to me and said, excuse me, and I went, sorry, hang on, I'm just doing the shirt thing. And they went,